Hello everyone, this is Marina. Thanks so much for joining me again. This is going to be a tutorial on how to crochet this striped cropped oversized cardigan. The materials you'll need are 4 different colors of light or decay yarn. I'm using this rainbow 8-ply sock wool, which was kindly sent to me by Hobbii. This is 70% wool and 25% polyamide, and I really love the feeling of this yarn because it's soft, but it keeps that rustic feel of wool I really enjoy. It's really nice to work with. I chose 4 different colors, which are these brown, cream, beige and burnt orange. I will leave more info in the box down below if you are interested in purchasing this particular yarn. Otherwise, you can use 4 different colors that you like. You would also need a 6mm and a 10mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a tape measure, stitch markers and a tapestry needle. You will also need buttons. You can pick some buttons later on when you finish your design if you're not sure yet. And feel free to pick any buttons you like, doesn't matter the size. The gauge swatch for this project is 9 stitches of moss stitch for 14 rows in 4 inches per 4 inches. The 9 stitches of moss stitch means 9 single crochet and 8 chains. We are going to begin by crocheting the front panels, which are 2 identical panels. You will need your bust measurement. My bust measurement is 32 inches. Divide this measurement in half and in half again. So in my case, in half is 16 and in half again is 8. You need to add 3 inches to this measurement, so 1/4 of my total bust measurement plus 3 inches. We call this measurement A. In my case, color 1 is color beige, color 2 is color brown, color 3 is burnt orange, and color 4 is cream. You can change the colors as you like. I'm going to tell you exactly what kind of colors I've used, just in case you want to reproduce this cardigan exactly as I did it. We are going to begin by crocheting the bottom ribbing. Grab your color 2 and your 6mm crochet hook. Make a slip knot. Chain 8, and insert a half double crochet in the second chain from hook. Insert 1/2 double crochet in each chain across for a total of 7 half double crochet. Chain 1, turn your work and insert 1/2 double crochet in each stitch across, but going only in the back loop. So you're going to make 7 half double crochet back loop only. Chain 1 again and repeat. You are going to crochet this way until you reach measurement A. You need to remember to crochet an even number of rows. Once you finish your ribbing, before closing the last stitch, you need to change color. So before yarning over to close the stitch, you simply change the yarn and close the stitch with the new yarn, which is color 1. Now we are going to work on the side, so don't turn your work, but simply insert one single crochet in the same stitch and one single crochet in each row and one single crochet in between the rows, meaning you will have 2 stitches for each rows of half double crochet of the ribbing. Meaning that your final stitch count would be the double of your ribbing rows. Make sure to work relatively loose, because on the next row you are going to change your hook and grab the 10 millimeters. After this, you need to change your hook, so grab your 10 millimeter hook, chain 1 and start working the moss stitch. So skip the first stitch and insert a single crochet in the second stitch. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and insert a single crochet in the next stitch. Continue to repeat this single crochet plus chain 1, skipping 1 stitch all along until you reach the last stitch. Chain 1, turn, insert your first single crochet into the chain space of previous row, chain 1, single crochet into the chain space, chain 1. This is going to be the pattern repeat for all the cardigan, meaning you insert 1 single crochet into the chain space, chain 1, single crochet into the chain space. The last stitch is into the last chain space. Make sure to not forget that. Work this way for a total of 5 rows. Then change your yarn, grab color 3 and crochet 2 rows. Grab color 1, crochet 4 rows. Grab color 2, crochet 8 rows, color 4, 2 rows. Now it's time for me to start decreasing, because this is the total length from my V-neck to the hem. So you should measure your V-neck, so how wide you want your V-neck to be from your cleavage until your hem, so where you want your cardigan to sit. If you want to crochet a longer cardigan, feel free to keep crocheting as many rows as you want with the colors you like the most. I'm happy with this length, so I'm now going to decrease. The decrease section would be from your V-neck until up to 1.5 inches below the top of your shoulder. The last 1.5 inches we are going to crochet without decreasing. To decrease, you just need to skip the first chain space and insert a single crochet into the second chain space, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain space. So you simply continue crocheting the moss stitch until the end of the row. For this particular design, I like the effect of decreasing every other row. So the next row we are not going to decrease, so simply crochet a row of moss stitch all the way along. The next row we are going to decrease again. So again, skip the first chain space and insert 1 single crochet into the second chain space, chain 1, single crochet into the following chain space, and repeat. This way you are going to achieve a really nice tidy decrease. Make sure to decrease on one side only, so decrease always at the beginning of the row every other row. With color 2, crochet 6 rows, with color 3, 4 rows, color 1, 5 rows, color 4, 2 rows, color 1, 2 rows, color 2, 1 row. When I arrived at 1.5 inches below the top of my shoulder, I stopped decreasing and I crochet in normal moss stitch rows. With color 2, 1 row, with color 3, 2 rows, with color 1, 3 rows. The final result should be something like this. And once you are done, chain 1, fasten off, cutting a long piece of yarn. Repeat the exact same panel once more, so you will have 2 identical panels. Now it's time to create our back panel. You need to start from the bottom ribbing like you have previously done for the front panels. The only difference is the length of your ribbing. The length of your ribbing need to be your half bust measurement plus 6 inches. Once you have done with your ribbing, turn on the side and crochet in the exact same way as the front panels. The total length of your panel would include also the decreasing part of the front panel, so you are basically crocheting a rectangular shape until you reach the area where you stop decreasing on the front panels. Like this, you can now create that 1.5 inches collar line for the back of your cardigan. To do that, count how many stitches you have. This measurement should be the same both on the right and on the left side. And count the exact same number of stitches on your back panel. Grab 2 stitch markers and insert your stitch markers in the corresponding stitch on both the left and the right side. Continue crocheting your moss stitch until you reach the stitch marker. Chain 1 and turn your work. You are now going to create that 1.5 inches small part to be able to join the front panel. Work this way on your right side and then repeat the exact same way on your left side. Once you finish your first panel, cut a long piece of yarn, chain 1 and fasten off. Attach the yarn on the other side and repeat. So crochet the moss stitch until you reach the stitch marker, chain 1, turn your work and repeat. You should end up with something like this. It's now time to join the back panel to the front panels. Lay down your 2 panels like that. Make sure they are well aligned and symmetrical. Thread the yarn into your needle and I would suggest you to turn the panels on the wrong side facing you. Like that you will have a nice effect on the right side. Start sewing the 2 panels together by entering in the external loop only. Make sure to go on the same direction all the time, grabbing the external loop only, making sure that the stitches are well aligned. Once you're done with the first one, wave in the ends and repeat the same process on the other side. So now you have your back panel connected to your front panels and you are ready to create your sleeves. With your 6mm crochet hook, you're now going to make your ribbing. As usual, to know how long your ribbing needs to be, just take the measurement of your wrist. I personally went for 15 rows, so a total of 6 inches. After that, you will need to work on the side like previously done. Chain 1 and insert 2 single crochet in each row. Switch your hook and grab your 10mm crochet hook. skip the first stitch and insert a single crochet in the second stitch. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and insert a single crochet in the next stitch. Continue to repeat this single crochet plus chain 1, skipping 1 stitch all along until you reach the last stitch. Now we need to increase in order to reach the right measurement for our sleeves. You just need to insert your first single crochet into the first single crochet. So instead of inserting your single crochet into the first chain space like you would normally do with your moss stitch, we have to increase. So insert your first single crochet into the single crochet of previous row, chain 1, single crochet into the chain space. Continue normally, so chain 1, single crochet into the chain space, chain 1, single crochet into the chain space until you reach the end of your row. End the row normally, so insert your last single crochet into the last chain space, chain 1 and turn. Again, insert your single crochet into the first single crochet, chain 1, single crochet into the chain space. You are always increasing at the beginning of the row, never at the end. This way we are going to achieve a nice and tidy increasing shape. Repeat this all the way and continue increasing at the beginning of the row until you reach your right measurement. Your right measurement needs to be your armhole. Once you understand how wide you want your sleeve to be, you need to increase this amount by doubling it. This means that the total width of your sleeve needs to be the double of the measurement of your desired armhole. There are standard measurements, but in my case I wanted an oversized fit, so I increased the standard armhole for my size of 1 inch. I now reach the right measurement, which is 16 inches in my case. So now I will continue crocheting normally my moss stitch without increasing. To know how long your sleeve needs to be, I would suggest you to measure from the top of your shoulder until your wrist, wearing your cardigan on, so you know where the side of your cardigan sits. I'm happy with 22 inches. When you are happy with your measurement, crochet another sleeve in the exact same way. Once you have both sleeves, it's now time to join them to the body of the cardigan. Lay your cardigan and your sleeve flat with the wrong side facing you. Spot the center of your sleeve, so count how many stitches you have and find the center, so the middle stitch. Connect the middle stitch with the shoulder joint of your cardigan with the stitch marker, like this you don't get mistaken. Start sewing the two panels together. You can go through the external loop only, but the side of your cardigan doesn't have actual stitches, so simply go through the edge, always on the same direction, from the corner up to the shoulder and then down on the other side. You can now repeat the same process on the other sleeve. We can now join the front and the back panels and close the sleeves as well. To do that, just attach a piece of yarn in the corner, in the bottom corner of your cardigan through both sides, making a triple knot to secure it. Thread the yarn into your tapestry needle and start sewing the two panels together as shown previously. So with the wrong side facing you, going in one direction. Once you arrive at your armpit, simply continue sewing the lower part of your sleeve up until your cuff, so your wrist ribbing. Repeat the same process on the other side. Flip your work inside out so you can have the right side facing you. And this should be the final result. The last step is now creating the button closure by crocheting the ribbing all around. You can choose your favorite buttons. I've chosen these cream buttons. Grab your 6mm crochet hook and your color 2. Attach your yarn at the bottom of your right side, so in the right corner. Chain 8 and crochet 1 half double crochet in the second chain from hook and in each chain across. Once you reach your last chain, make a slip stitch into the next stitch. Slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1 and turn. Skip these 2 slip stitch you have just made and crochet 1 half double crochet back loop only in each stitch. So you should always have 7 stitches to work into. Chain 1 and turn, 1 half double crochet back loop only until you reach your 7th stitch. Slip stitch into the next stitch on your cardigan and slip stitch into the next one. Keep repeating this process all around. Once you arrive at the back panel, to avoid the edge to be too loose, skip the chain in between the stitches. To sew the button, simply thread your yarn into a needle and go through the holes of your button, securing it with a double knot on the inside of your work. I'm now supposed to create the buttonholes. To do that, decide where you want your buttons to be attached exactly. I like to use the stripes as a reference. So for example, my first button is aligned with the cream row, so my buttonhole will be around the cream row. To create the buttonhole, I will simply skip 1 stitch. So I will chain 1, crochet 3 half double crochet back loop only, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 3 half double crochet, so I will create this small hole, which is more than enough for my button. If you have a bigger button, you might need to skip 2 stitches or even 3. So if you need to skip 2, just crochet 2 half double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 3 half double crochet. If you need to skip 3, 2 half double crochet, chain 3, skip 3, 2 half double crochet. Make sure that your button is fitting into the hole and make sure your buttonhole is aligned. If not, try to go back 1 row or to see if the next or the previous row is fitting better. Keep repeating the ribbing as usual until you reach the point where your second button is, and repeat the same process. I decided to try my cardigan on once I finish each button, just to make sure I like the final result and the buttons were easy to close. This is the final result and I'm absolutely in love with the fit. It's really comfy and cozy. I often wear it with one of my shoulder peeking out, so off the shoulder. Thanks so much for watching this video. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or doubts. I'm more than happy to answer all your comments, and I hope to see you next time.